I'm Derek Hearn, aka the Guinness Guru, and this is Only Cans, the show that's all about drinking. From crazy stories to hangover cures, I share a few cans with a special guest as we dissect their drinking career. Welcome to episode 15. A dose of Only Cans, that's your only man. So sit back, relax, that's the only plan. Grab yourself a Guinness or Peroni, man. Welcome to the show. This is Only Cans. Cheers. This week, lads, it's a fucking good one. We get straight into it. Paddy Barnes. I'll give him a proper intro when we come on, but most people will know him. Olympic bronze medalist twice. That's all you really got to say. Boxer from Belfast, so hopefully the accent isn't too strong to understand. But yeah, I'm fucking very excited for this one and hope you enjoy, lads. Make sure to get over to gurumerch.com, get some t-shirts, get some hoodies. The hoodies won't be up there for much longer. I have some t-shirts, some cool t-shirts coming over the next kind of couple of months, summery kind of vibes and that. So gurumerch.com, if you want a hoodie while it's still fucking freezing, get one because they'll be coming down soon, and grab yourself a t-shirt while you're at it. Paddy Barnes, just 40 minutes late, no hassle.
Ask yourself.
How you getting on, lad?
Okay, mate. Just working hard. It's 5. It's so late.
I'm good to go. I'm recording here, so we don't need to do the 5 minutes of shite small talk talking about COVID that no one really cares about, you know?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
With COVID.
Yeah. Grant, so I'll give you a little intro and then we'll get straight into it, all right?
No sweat.
Right, lads, I now welcome on to Only Cans a fucking Olympian, lads. A proud Belfast man. He represented Ireland at the 2008, 2012 and 2016 Olympics, winning bronze medals in Beijing and London. He has also secured gold medals in the European Championships and Commonwealth Games. In 2019, he retired from professional boxing and has since started his own podcast called the Paddy Cast. It is truly an honor to welcome on the one and only Paddy Barnes. Paddy, come here to me now. I actually have some non-Irish listeners, so with the accent, we're going to have to just go easy.
I'll try my best to slow it down.
You say it for one sentence and it'll be straight back in. Exactly. Does everyone say that to you that does podcasts?
No, to be honest with you, not really. But when I'm like doing my own podcast, it's hard not to get excited and speak fast.
Yeah.
Especially boys from like England on and America and all. Like,
yeah.
I had the guy Nonino Donaire. He's
Who?
American. Nonino Donaire. He like a 6-foot world champion or something. But he's a Filipino who lives in America.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I can imagine how that went.
Actually wasn't that bad, but
yeah.
Speaking to him in Belfast, he asked me, Paddy, what are you saying? What are you saying? So I knew it was a tough one. But we get through it.
Yeah, no, I would on it. Are you West Belfast?
Oh, North Belfast.
North Belfast. Yeah, I would say it's got to be up there with strongest accents in the world, but we'll get over it. So right, Paddy, you retired in 2019. I want to go all the way back to when you were a young lad, a Goston, a teenager in Belfast. Did you get into drinking like the rest of us, or were you kind of too focused on the boxing, or what was the crack?
See, as far back as I can remember, I could have been 11, it could have been 12. I can't remember the age. I think it's 11 because it was in first year. It was the first time I started drinking.
11, that's quite young.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was 11, and I never drinking, but then it was caught like the first time I drunk.
Oh, yeah, the first time ever?
Caught.
Jesus.
What was it's fine. That's actually embarrassing. So I was in a friend's house and I bought Dolby KD.
WKD, yeah.
I was 11. I'm small. I'm even smaller back then. So one bottle, all right, and it wasn't drunk. I was just felt it in my head, like a weird feeling. And it was a girl from her friends said to me, Paddy, if you drink the other bottle and spin on it, it'll sober you up. You're lying and laughing. I swear, Paddy will have. So I get the bottle.
What do you mean spin on it?
Like drink it and get dizzy at the same time. Go spin on like
oh, for fuck's sake! Spin while you're drinking it.
I swear
Here.
Or that didn't work. You're landing me. So then I had to be home for like 10:30 at night, and my house was not far away. And my mate says, "Oh, Paddy, see you outside. The air will hit you. You're we blocked."
Oh yeah.
What I done? I got my coat, put it on my head, and sprinted home, thinking no, the air's not gonna get me. And
so you're trying to avoid the air by covering your face.
I cheat the system, but it turned out it didn't work. I ended up half tipsy, and I just ran up the stairs. Something but no, I never really. I usually go to the room out there and cut my dad and I go to bed.
Yeah.
And I thought something suspicious. Straight to bed, but ended getting caught. But I saw that, but then so I drunk 11, 12. I stopped maybe it was 13, and
but when you were 11, were you into boxing? Like, were you doing it from very young?
It was boxing. Yeah, it was boxing. But like, I was drinking. Like, it was like once a week. Like, Friday night with your mates. No, as you do, you're a kid.
Yeah.
But remember, like, so lad till 13. But then when I was 13, I just stopped drinking the weekends.
Yeah.
And like, I was looking at my friends who were drinking. So I didn't drink until I was 13, till about nearly 17.
Okay, at all, like whatsoever.
Nah, I never drunk. Like, I used to go with my friends a weekend, like, but just never had drinks.
And did you feel like you were kind of missing out on the crack, or what was the story?
No, like, it's not a story. It is not a lie. So I pretended one day to my friends that I'm sure you've heard of a drink called Concord. It's like a wine.
Concord? No, never heard of it.
So it's a wine, right? So I got a bottle of Schlur, obviously, Christmas.
I know that, yeah.
Wrote the label off and pretend my mates that I'm drinking Concord. It was crazy, but like, I was like a mess when I was young anyway, so no one will know if it was tips or it was sober or drunk.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but I didn't care about drinking. I was only a kid, like, so I didn't really care.
Yeah. So and like when you were say, you said you stopped drinking at 13, but like, was that because of, I can't even imagine coaches would have been saying it to you at that young an age, or did you just decide that yourself?
Yeah, the coach never said like it's not if it was a real alcoholic or anything, just drunk my mates the weekend or Saturday or something. But I can't remember why I stopped. I think it was just more focus on boxing, making weight not in a young age, and just.
Was there any sort of like parents or guardian sort of influence, or like, that's a pretty big decision for a 13-year-old that's pretty like fucking, you said you were a mess or whatever, but it's pretty like solid head in your shoulders at 13 to say, I'm giving this up.
I just said, I have a lot in the head, just when I boxing. I was playing football then too.
Yeah.
But there's just about, I would say about 30 of us. Just like sit the crowd going, everyone. Yeah. Bar about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Would have drunk, but I still had the crack with drinking. Like, so I didn't need it. Like, and plus, I wasn't scared of my dad finding out.
Yeah.
I'm like a bastard. So that's probably one of the main reasons.
So you would just like, you would go with the lads, but you just basically wouldn't drink.
Oh yeah. Definitely just wouldn't drink, and I was even 16.
And then when you were, 17, 16, you kind of started drinking again. Was that just because lads were starting to maybe go to pubs and nightclubs and you felt like you were missing out on that, or what inspired that?
Just because we're a bit older, like, in that there, and basically everyone's drinking, like, you go and like talk to girls or whatever, I mean, it's just drinking, it's just, you kind of just fall on that thing. It's like a social thing, like, when everyone,
absolutely, yeah.
You want to fit in and like have the crack, so I just done it then.
And would there be any sort of like, then the coaches again, like say 17 and 18, like what was the sort of, was drink kind of brought up, or would the coaches just expect you to not drink, or did they think if you were doing it the odd time it was grand? Because like you were only 21 at your first Olympics?
Yeah, well, actually, you know what, see, like, my club would just never would have mentioned drink to me, like, but I remember being on the high performance team, and like, it was always drilled in this about like the culture of like no drinking and a high performance environment.
Yeah.
Like when we went in Dublin that there, I wasn't really have drunk, especially if there's like competitions coming up. You need to be like proper finny tuned for your fights.
Yeah.
So you kind of live that lifestyle like, and then you don't really care about drink. But when you get a break, Jesus, you made sure you made up for it. I guess as much pints as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. So would that be like you'd have a drinking ban for fucking months and months, and then you'd have your fight, and then you just that night you'd go wild, and then for a few weeks you go wild and kind of get back at it then?
Basically, it's harder as an amateur because if tournaments all around the world at different times of the year,
Yeah.
and like as a pro, like when you're fighting,
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 times a year, so it was easier as a pro.
So amateur is much more like just kind of you could be doing not weekends in a row, but it could be like months in a row. Whereas we all know professional, you could go 6 months between fights.
Like it's funny as an amateur, as a high performance athlete, as an amateur, it's more professional than professional boxing. So you would train more, and yes, as an amateur at that level, you need to be more dedicated than professional boxing.
Yeah.
Because you're being paid essentially by the government to train basically 40 weeks out of the year, living in Dublin. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
your friends also, you're down there like as a pro. Like most pros like in Ireland have jobs, so they wake up in the morning, train, do their work, and train night time, and they have the weekend where we're off. But as an athlete and an amateur athlete on a high performance, this is your job. You know what I mean? So you have no time for anything else.
So you're saying most pros have other jobs?
Yeah, big pro boxing it's not a lucrative business. It's put it this way. Say there was 3,000 pro boxers in the world, right?
Yeah.
I would say out of that 3,000, about 20 haven't got jobs.
So are you saying literally it's only the likes of fucking AJ and these big fucking names that are?
Very, very, very small percentages. Very, very small
And what
percentages.
sort of jobs? Like just regular jobs?
Regular jobs could be working in JD Sport, could be working in a bar.
Just
People get
because they only get paid for the fight, and that might, unless you're top dog, the money isn't going
yeah,
to be unreal.
you get paid for a fight. You see, you're fighting a small show. You mainly get paid because you pay your opponent. It's all to do with ticket money.
Yeah.
So like the money you get, you probably spent it through camp already. So it's just paying for your camp. But
Yeah.
those are the fights leading up to, like, if you get title fight out there, then potentially you earn a lot of money. But
And is that why, like,
I
am I right in saying you were only professional for like 3 or 4 years?
think it was 3 years, yeah.
Is that
But
why, were you just kind of thinking this amateur crack is grand, I'm doing it full time, it's a bit unknown if I go into professional?
no, like the reason I went pro for is because, like, obviously I wanted to see the big games. I was 29 at the time.
Yeah.
I achieved what I could as an amateur. I was with another 4 years for big games trying to win gold. I think I've been too slow at that age and too old, basically.
Right.
So I thought, what, I get pro boxing. I stopped because I'd never ever had dreams of being pro. I didn't really care about being pro.
Yeah.
But MGM at the time, was an INTK, approached me and said, listen, Paddy, want to go pro? I said, I would, but I've got a history as an amateur. I don't want to be just another world champion professional because Ireland has loads of world champions. So I don't want to be just sitting among them. I want to stand alone and become the fastest world champion. So he says, okay, we'll throw you in the deep end and we'll get you the world title shot. That's all I want. I said, like, if I lose, I don't care because, like, I'm losing the best, and, like, it's not for me. It's not for me. Who cares? At least I tried. And in
Yeah.
fairness, stuck to the word, got the world title shot. Didn't work out. No regrets whatsoever.
Yeah. Fair enough. So switching up, I heard a story. I was listening to Shane Todd, isn't it? The Tea with Me. You were on his podcast, and you're talking about the story. Am I right in saying you were willing to change your name to Paddy Power for the Olympics, but it was too last minute or something?
No, so what happened? I qualified as Paddy Barnes, so
yeah,
that That was stipulation.
What year was this?
This is in Rio. The last Olympic Games there.
Yeah.
So I couldn't legally change it because it was too short of a time window. I would have had to qualify as Paddy Power, but I was all for the idea.
But how did it come about? Like, did they? You've probably done stuff with them before, did you? And then they're like, "This be a bit of crack."
They approached me and I went and had a meeting down at their big offices in Dublin.
Yeah.
And we're going through a few different things. And have you seen like the Twitter spot I had? It was my logo was the same as theirs.
Yeah.
It was all created by Evans. And got a phone call a week later saying about changing the Paddy Power for the big games now. 100%. Let's do it. I'm game for it. But obviously it was against the IOC rules.
Yeah.
So they named the shop in Dorset Street maybe. Paddy Barnes instead of Paddy Power for a week.
Yeah. And are you willing to say how much was on the table now?
Oh, for the Paddy Power name change?
Yeah.
There was no money mentioned, but I'd be expecting serious money, at least 200 grand.
200 grand?
And I think I would have got it because fame was really massive because at that time, I was favourite.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that, all right, yeah.
Even though first fight, I didn't care, but I was favourite, so I would have asked for the money up front.
Fuck me. And then it would have just, and would the announcer and all would have had to be like, Paddy Power.
We'll have to play Power 100%. 100%.
That is fucking, yeah, because they, in fairness to Paddy Power, like they must be the best in terms of advertisements and stuff. The shit they do is just gold.
Yeah, people think like stuff is bad and all. No,
that's brilliant.
Like I did a bit of flack, and like I think it was in London though for kind of like open for sponsors saying.
And yeah, what was it? You had to follow me on Twitter, or what was it?
Open for sponsors, and then the Twitter name underneath it.
Open for sponsors. Brilliant.
People are saying that's very disrespectful, and you're the biggest sporting event in the world. You represent your country, which is fair enough. But people need to realize, seeing sport, sport itself. So if you're competing at the highest level, be it professional boxing, amateur boxing, or any kind of sport, so competing is one element of it. Doing well and winning medals is another element of it.
Yeah.
Being successful, but one major element people tend to forget, fans especially, is the marketing of it. So for me to make money, I need to put my name out there. So whether people talk to me, whether people are talking to me badly or highly, as long as they're talking to me, and people's moves and the papers and TV.
Exactly.
What's marketability? People need to understand that their sport is not sport is mainly a business, and people need to grasp that.
Yeah, like you have to you're kind of trading attention, like as a lot of people in this marketing thing say, like, and not to talk about myself, but it's similar to the social media crack. It's one thing getting an audience, having a podcast, people are listening, but like people listening, like you got to understand, like if you're trying to do this full time, you got to make a bit of cash out of it, and then you might do an ad or something, and people saying, "Oh, what's he doing that for?" It's like that's how it works. You need to make money as well.
Of course, and sport as well. It's for anybody's sporting career. It's a very, very short window.
Yeah,
because age is a factor. It's retire. So do as much as you can while you can.
You must be one of the only lads who did 3 Olympics, are you? Like one of the only boxers.
Yeah, you know what? I would be surprised if anyone ever does it again, because once people go to one Olympic Games, it's another 4 years, the ones are professional and they say they they're starting up. Yeah. So I don't think they'll ever be done again.
And I was looking at something. I was basically looking up like Paddy Barnes, Olympics, sort of drinking, typing all this shit into and then there was like the Olympic Village, and I think the whole Olympic Village thing is never. You always hear about it, but you never really see any videos or pictures. And I was Googling it. It just looked like a block of flats. But I looked it up, and it was saying you can't drink you can only drink in private, basically, in your own room in the Olympic Village. Like I kind of would have been thinking, not that there'd have been pubs and stuff, but like you hear all this crack going on in the Olympic Village, like people to be riding and all this, and you would assume that there's places to socialize. But is it just very much like you're accommodate? Is it just like a big massive hotel, or what is it like?
No, it's like a big estate, like a big massive community.
Yeah.
You have like shops, or if like Olympics are always sponsored by McDonald's, so 24/7. McDonald's for free, or big canteens.
Everything's just free.
Everything's free. Like all sports facilities, all free. Dentist free. And there's no game rooms and all. Couple of game rooms, but there's no bar. But
yeah,
obviously it's in the village. There's bars everywhere. But you can't bring drink in and drink it there. Like, but there's no bars, like, unfortunately.
So you can like you could obviously drink in your room, but you wouldn't be out in the street fucking cracking a can.
Well, me and Finn Downey were walking with the real village with a few bags of bottles, just walking down the strip village. Don't work hardly.
Yeah. On something I was gonna say to you, like I was kind of saying, so you would do a big massive drinking ban, and then you'd go on the beer the night of the fight, and then for weeks, whatever. But I was wondering, like, would you ever, because like I grew up playing rugby, and it would be very common, like your opposition number, you might fucking even throw a few headbutts in the game, but you'd always have a pint after the match and chat about it. Would it be like that in boxing, where you'd talk to the guy after? I know a lot of the times they probably wouldn't speak English, and they definitely wouldn't speak Belfast English, but like, would you chat to them? Would you have a pint with them, or is it just shake hands, good luck?
It's never happened for me, because to say I've always fought like foreigners, really.
Yeah.
Like maybe two English speaking fellas as a pro. But it does happen, like, boxing, like, being ferocious heart looks, it's a very, very respectful sport. So you're always taught this thing from a young age, to be respectful after the fight. It's not a fight, so to say. It's a contest. So like
contest, yeah.
You're not trying to kill each other, but you're just trying to get the better. Like, it's hard to explain. But listen, everyone do it. Go for a pint with your opponent, no problem, and you be the best of friends no matter who you fight and who it is. You always have respect for someone who you share a room with, and like, it happens all the time that people go to the other parties with each other after the fights and would have a pint with each other.
Yeah. And then, like, would there be any of the Irish boys that would, if I said to you, like, say, especially Olympics and stuff, once say you get the bronze medal, it's probably one of the last fights. Is it sort of, right, lads, let's find a spot to go? Is there any particular lads who are a bit madder than others, or is it kind of still reserved enough, or is it a blowout?
No, like, once, well, you're always told, like, at big competitions by the head coach or not, and lads, everyone has to be professional here, because if you lose today, your teammates could be fighting tomorrow, so you need to be respectful around the ring out there. So
yeah,
they actually don't like you drinking, or don't let you drink, sorry, throughout the duration of the tournament.
Yeah,
but you just go out, just put the head down and just go and have a few pints, like, but just don't be acting idiot, if you know what I mean.
But then, like, once it's done, are you fucking going home, or are you allowed to chill out for a week? And
you have to stay there, like, until the competition's over, like, so your flight's booked, everything's booked, stay there. But like, you do go out, you do have a few drinks out there, you just don't come on easy, like. But in regards to, like, anybody in particular, like, from mouth to drink, not really. Like, I'd say we'd be all the same. We're on the same boat, and plus as well, we're probably all depressed if we get beat and we're early. So
say that again.
I think we'd be all depressed getting beat
early. True. Yeah.
The drink, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, with finals night, and we all want to go mad, like, around drinking, then.
Yeah.
Serious size then.
Yeah, because these are all kind of fighting on different nights and stuff. It's not like a bit. You are a team, but it's not like a rugby or a GA match where you get to the final, win, lose, or draw, you're on the fucking booze. Do you know what I mean? Or what is it? Win or lose, you're on the booze. But it's like you could win or lose yours, but then, like you said, next night it could be the next lad, and you can't really just go.
You have to be. You're all training together, so you're all part of the same network, the same team. So you need to, like, reach hard on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then, like, when you're kind of talking to like hangovers and stuff, if I can imagine, like I even know myself, I could easily go 4 or 5 weeks without drinking, and it's not even or without going on a mad session. I could go months, to be honest. But like if you're not drinking for like, say when you as an amateur and professional, like which would you drink less, or would you just be did like was the only thing that changed the fact that you're called a professional?
Yeah, well, I say a lot changed because they're two totally different sports.
Yeah.
Like professional boxing, it's not really a sport. To me, it's not a sport. It's a business.
Right.
Like you could be shit if you can sell tickets. You're go far. You'll be gated.
Yeah.
I mean, your promoter wants to make money from you.
Mm.
So if you sell tickets, you're as good looking. So he's gonna like map a path of you to try and get to the top. I mean, you fight shit opponents.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a business. Like as an amateur, you're fighting the best of the best, week in week out.
Yeah, fair enough. It's
And
amateur
plus,
is like a kind of nearly like a league where it's just always good opponents in front of you.
you're fighting the best in each country. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But then if you, let's just say you do a drinking ban for fucking 6 months or something, and then you have a fight, you go hell for leather on the drink that night. Like, would you the hangover? I suppose you've nothing to really compare it to, but like, I presume the hangovers would just be absolutely shocking if you haven't drank in 6 months.
See, I in a sense to be doing macho or be funny. Like, I never get hangovers. I don't get them
At all. I've spoken to one or two people in my life who said that, and I just really not struggle to believe it, but like it just is such a mad concept that you just don't get a hangover.
Like I'll be honest, next day sometimes I feel a bit tired, just like maybe a dry mouth, but never really like I wouldn't say a hangover. Like,
so you don't feel the need to, like, I was gonna say, I always ask people who come on for a hangover cure, but you never even would have.
Sometimes do you feel a bit rough, obviously. So another bottle of beer.
Yeah. I had a feeling you were gonna say that. I actually find sometimes like that. Look, if the feeling you don't know that I do, if you're absolutely fucked, there's not a whole lot you can do. But I do find if I have a hangover and it's not the worst, a couple of bottles of beer and you're totally fine.
So you need it. Just next day, if you good, next day you're back normal again.
Yeah.
I used to go up and like do 10 can with
yeah.
Sorry, a few Christmases ago, there's a fella on Twitter called Dermot. And he's in a wheelchair. It's an electric wheelchair, so it's really heavy.
Yeah.
He asked me to push him for 5 miles on Boxing Day. I had 12 tins of Guinness the night before. drove to Greencastle and Tyrone, it was. Pushed him for 5 miles. Now, one of the miles was up a hill.
And not a lot on you.
Flat was.
And you wouldn't have much fucking weight behind you either.
No, I was like proper down with weight. I was like about 9 stone, 8.5 stone, 9 stone.
Yeah, but that's probably heavy for you, is it?
I would make it heavy for me. Actually, you're right.
Yeah, I thought I saw a weigh-in, or not a weigh-in, but one of your fights, and it was being announced as like 7 stone something, or am I way off?
Yeah, so 7, 9.
Yeah, but that's obviously that's after fucking 4 months of camp or whatever.
Yeah, big time, big time.
Support for Only Cans is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below the waist grooming. Big news: Manscaped just released their new cologne scent to help you feel good and smell good all over and at all times. Who knew smelling this good could feel this good too? Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below the waist grooming needs. You know the drill, lads. We just have all been there. Like, if you're a grown male and you've shaved your balls before, you've nicked them. It's a fact. Chances are, I can almost guarantee you will not nick the balls with Manscaped. You shouldn't have to say anything else. They've got the plasticky thing on it, some funky technology. I can never remember the name of it. You won't nick your balls. Has the lawnmower, has the weed whacker. It's got the ball deodorant. It's got the crop preserver, which I keep saying. Shave your arse all you want. Shave your balls. Usually you just accept you're going to have like 2-3 days chafage, crop preserver, lash it on, do not spare, lash it on, no chafage. I'm telling you, you won't believe. Usually, you know, or you shave your belly and like the t-shirt kind of chafes and rubs off weirdly off the belly. Nah, mate, not here. Lash that shit on all over, nice and smooth. You'd be laughing. And now you can get the new Manscaped Refined Cologne to complete your set and smell great anytime, anywhere. It's time to feel sexy. Cracking ad read, Dara. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code CANS20 at manscaped.com. Code CANS20 at manscaped.com. 20% off plus free shipping. Your balls and body, in brackets, will thank you. Well, Paddy, so you were saying about, this is something, because I'm kind of on the whole social media and YouTube and stuff, and I've never had a boxer on, and I'm sure you're probably talking about this the whole time with people, but like you were saying how the professional is just very much a business, and you do seem to have a bit of, correct me if I'm wrong, but a bit of a sort of, not even bitterness, but just a bit of sort like you kind of just much prefer the wholesomeness of the amateur compared to the business. And I want to get your opinion on just the general like YouTube boxing. I know you've kind of said stuff about Eddie Hearn before. He would have like laughed at the YouTube boxing thing. Now he's heavily involved in it. Like just kind of general thoughts on everything that's going on. Do you think it's a load of bollocks as a proper boxer, or what do you think?
I just think like people like who boxers who give off about this YouTube stuff, like take a step back and look around at what's going on. Like boxing, as I said already, is a business. It's about it's the entertainment business. People want to pay to watch certain people, and that money generates your purse, gets money for promoters, TV. So like it doesn't matter. Like people should be getting in a strap about these YouTubers fighting. You know,
like
they're choosing boxing as a sport, so it's highlighting the sport of boxing.
Yeah, and it's, you know what I mean? Like obviously they're not like unbelievable boxers, but they do train. They do, like say your man Jake Paul, like he's been training for the last 3 years and not really doing a whole lot else. And like I'm sure if you put him in against someone good, he'd be shy, but like he can throw a punch. So it's not as if they're going on and just flailing about like one of those white collar things. You know what I mean? They're like, they have learned certain things.
They've learned certain things they can like for paying, like, but realistically, if Jake Paul was to try and qualify for Olympic Games in Tokyo through the American route, he wouldn't even a state championship.
I know that.
He'd be killed.
But like you said, it's
he hasn't fought a boxer yet. You know what I mean?
It's just about who. It's not even like what standard of boxing do people want to see. It's nearly turned into like the WWE, where it's all about just who's fighting and is there a bit of a rivalry. And I was going to ask you, like, because obviously you see fucking McGregor and you see all these people with all the trash talk, but like, was that, say, even like it's always been in boxing, fucking Jesus, going back to Muhammad Ali, but like throughout your career, would you, like, you're obviously a bit of crack, but would you ever had that sort of crack before fights, or was it just like get on with it and just fight?
I'm actually raging because, like, you know, I love the build up. It sells fights, it makes the fight bigger.
Yeah.
But all my opponents were like big foreigners, so I couldn't speak. That's what the only guy I fought for East was Jay Harris from last fight from Wales.
Yeah.
But like, we were friends, sort of like through a different camp, so I couldn't argue, like, you know what I mean? I would have a fake beef, if you get me. I don't like people who.
Yeah, and I'd say a lot of it is that, but like I wouldn't be surprised the amount of, if you went digging, the amount of text you could find between the two fighters. Let's say the fight gets announced and they just ring each other and say, right, let's make a proper show out of this. You get rich, I get rich.
That's the way to do it. Like I probably should shoot on it myself, like, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, it would be pretty funny, like you against some Filipino lad and you're trying to trash talk and he just hasn't a fucking clue. But it's a bit like when McGregor was against Aldo, and Aldo, you nearly felt bad because he just couldn't do anything because he didn't know what he was saying.
But there you go. Look at McGregor now. McGregor's obviously a very, very talented fighter, but I don't think he would be half of where he is now. if he won the choice lotter. You know what I mean?
He wouldn't be 1%. Like,
that's
again, he's talented, but if he was just your average kind of shy kind of guy, like he was just, and that's something you can't really work on. Like you can get media training, but he was just born with this gift, call it whatever you want. He can just talk shite and make someone raging like till the cows come home, and he's just kind of gifted with that.
Right, and that's another essential skill in
Yeah,
business.
especially because like a massive fight to so many press conferences. But come here, we're nearly getting to the end. But since retiring, like, have you been kind of going on the beer more? I read something where you said if it wasn't for your wife, I think I read this anyway. If it wasn't for your wife, Mary, you'd be on the piss the whole time. Like, what's the transition been like from professional trained the whole time to now?
It is a lot different, you know. But thankfully, I have a job now, so I'm a development officer, the IBA. But you know, like let's say, like if you're good drinking, like, if you leave it maybe a rough next day, a few bottles, I do it all again next day, no problem. But now, you know, your missus are, and I'm at my age now, 34. I have responsibilities if the two kids are.
Yeah.
So even though I would love to do this stuff, like I'm probably just too mature now
Yeah,
to go.
it kind of came at the right time, nearly like.
Yeah, I just no one to knock at my head, like, and I think it's a quality to have, like, no one to stop, and
Yeah.
I think I'm probably speaking for every sports person here who's successful, like high end, like high performance athletes or professional athletes. I think they all are wired the same. And what I mean by that is like one of the addictive personalities. So we want to
Yeah.
win all the time, or we're set one goal, and we're addicted to getting where we need to go. So like if I was gambling before, I was addicted to gambling because of it, pulled me out there. So I could be addicted to anything very, very fast. But
Yeah.
now like, I'm older and wiser, and I'm a lot more aware of stuff. Like thankfully.
And with the gambling, like, was it just sort of like, I'd have mates who probably wouldn't say they're addicted, but they'd be betting most days and stuff. Like, what was your sort of? Did you have a moment where you're like, I'm addicted to this, I'm gonna stop, or what was the crack?
No, like I was doing like so just boredom. So you're training Dublin all the time, and like a few hours of break, and you've obviously nothing to do. So I was just either gambling a few hours or whatever,
Yeah.
and wasn't a problem. But then the online stuff on your phone, it's just
Yeah.
digits. I don't care about the money. It's just the money. It's just digits. And that's what I mean. I just start like losing too much. I mean, what this fucking need knocks in the head. I did, back it again, and then my power waves up there and just stopped it.
And now you wouldn't have a bet at all?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Don't even like
Yeah,
just
because that's something like I would say I'm kind of the opposite. I've never really, and I know a lot of people say it kind of follows in families and stuff or whatever, but I've never really had that sort of addictive personality. But I know some people just are totally born with it, and it's like, and I know like Rory Stories always says some guy back in the day just told him to turn it around and just turn it into something good. But you seem to have it, but you can also just kind of say, ah, sure, knocking on the head to fuck.
But I did say just not in the head, but it wasn't as easy as just that there. You know, it just
Yeah.
a bit hard. I saying like, fuck, I love to do it, like, but I think it feels for it, like, but see, once you like, I used to read the form of horses and all on paper,
Yeah.
and like the jockeys and all. See now, I don't read any of it. I don't
Fair
care
enough.
anymore.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Definitely.
And would you think if you were like single now, no kids, do you think it'd be a different story? You'd just be on the beer the whole time? Like, would you kind of lack structure, or would you think you still be grand?
See, I really don't know. It's a scary thought because structure definitely be lacking structure. So
Yeah.
God knows what we're doing. Like I could be either an alcoholic or a brain surgeon. You just don't know.
Fair enough. Whatever you be doing, you'll be going at it like fuck. Paddy, we'll
100%.
finish off with a bit of quick fire and I'll let you go, all right?
Yeah.
Favorite pub?
Kelly Sailors.
Is it in Belfast?
Yeah. That's our one tomorrow night.
The local. You have
Oh,
to
wow.
say the local. Favorite boxer of all time?
Favorite boxer all time. He's actually younger than me. Is Vasily Lomachenko.
I feel clueless. I don't know who that is. Where's he from?
Ukraine. So you Google him, right? Lomachenko.
Limenchenko.
Yeah, he is just like
What weight
Mayweather,
class?
lightweight, but
Okay.
his best weight was super flyweight, but he's won 2 Olympic gold medals and 3 world champion.
Fuck me. Favorite win of your career?
Favorite win of my career. Um, favorite of my career. No, I'm not gonna put it there just for a bit of a plug for yourself. A big Carl Frampton when I was a kid, so we were kids.
That's it. What age were you?
Maybe 13 or 14.
There's my title for the podcast now. you know the game. You know the game, Paddy. Bacon or scampi fries?
That's a hard one.
That's the biggest one.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to go bacon fries. What?
All right. Most people, I think it's about 70-30 bacon fries, so you're probably safe. Beer garden or cozy snug?
Is that really a question, man? Is that a serious question?
Why, you're a beer garden?
100%.
I think, though, if I asked you that on a cold December's night, you might say different. Do you know what I mean?
Can I say something here? If it was minus 40 outside, and I had shorts and t-shirt on, I would still go to beer garden.
Okay, maybe you wouldn't then. Not a seasonal question when it comes to you. Last question, I ask everyone this. Fill in the blank, Paddy. I am a blank drunk.
I am. Jesus. I am a strange drunk.
Strange drunk. That's good to admit. A lot of people are just like, oh, I'm happy. I'm good crack. It's at least you can be honest and say strange. What makes you strange?
Blank because I'm a drunk. There's no correct word for it. So I can be mad, angry, sad, happy, funny.
Unpredictable drunk.
Unpredictable drunk.
Solid. Right, lads, follow Paddy _Bronze on Instagram and go watch the Paddycast on YouTube. Season 2 coming soon. Am I right, Paddy?
Yeah, season 2 coming soon. And as well, before we go, obviously, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I get my teeth fixed.
So I know the plug is coming. Go on, go for it.
So anyone needs Invisalign, and from Belfast or surrounding areas, go to Gruncha Dental. You'll see it on my Instagram, and you get there. You quote Barnes50, and okay.
I'll send you the invoice for that plug. All right, Paddy. And just quickly again for the Paddycast, like, is it very much about boxing or is it more general or what's correct?
No, it's not just about boxing, but all different sports and about the sport. It's mainly about not current affairs, but about how they got to where they are basically. So from the start to where they are, just to show people in different sports. You know, like if you want to take a horse race or something, or hockey,
how a fucking how-to guide. And it's just on YouTube, is it?
Just on YouTube,
bang on.
They right.
Paddy Barnes, fucking code Paddy or fucking Barnes 50 if you want to get your fucking teeth done. Paddy, absolute pleasure, lads. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
No bother.
That's it for this week, lads. Again, if you want to support the podcast, get over to gurumerch.com. Get a hoodie, get a t-shirt. You might have noticed I'm not doing the Patreon anymore. I just wasn't really, didn't know what to be putting on Patreon and what to be putting on this. And it was just giving me stress, kind of figuring out which to put on. I just want everything to be out there for anyone to listen to. So yeah, Patreon is gone. So if you want to support your boy, gurumerch.com, get a t-shirt, get a hoodie. There'll be some cool t-shirts coming in a couple of months. Thanks for listening, lads. We'll see you next week.